Good afternoon, it's Dave at All Things Important Reviews. Please smash the like button, and if you've not subscribed already, please do so, because it's come to my attention that most people who actually watch my videos are not actually subscribed. So please do that so you can keep up to date with my latest videos. Little wristwatch check. I've got one of my favourite all-time Pagani watches, the 1651, an absolute cracker. And this fits in with the unboxing that I'm going to do today, because I have got here another HOMAGES watch, which hopefully will be another cracker. The specs definitely appeal to me, but this is not actually, let me just get this open. It's not actually a Rolex HOMAGES watch. This is actually a first for the channel, but this is in fact a Tudor homage, because this is the Pagani PD-1718 39.5mm by 13mm thick sports chronograph. Now, I've got it as well as a first time for the channel in the Panda style, the white contrasting with the black, which I am not actually the biggest fan of, but with this particular watch style I am. Now this is homaging a Tudor watch. Now if people don't know who Tudor are, they're another luxury watch brand. They've been around for years and years, and they're actually a sister company to Rolex. They're like Rolex's little brother, basically, because Tudor, at least nowadays, Tudor make watches that are far cheaper than Rolex, even though they still cost thousands of pounds, but with a lot of the performance and looks. In fact, you could almost argue that they homage Rolex's watches, which is a bit crazy, but in many ways they do. Now, they're both owned by the Hans Willdorf group, so they're basically owned by Rolex. Now, this is obviously a Pagani watch, which is still a fraction of the price of the model that it's homaging. And the model that's homaging is the Tudor Black Braid Chrono in the Panda appearance. Just a spec overview, it's 39.5mm by 13mm thick nominal, by about 48mm thick lug to lug, fully solid stainless steel bracelet with the faux rivets, and I think they are screws as well. Yeah, screws, with deployant clasp but no safety, but it does have, or it should have, a dive extension. 100-meter water resist. They're pretty heavy duty swing arms, I have to say. That feels totally fine. Fully solid stainless steel bracelet, solid, well, it's got a stamped, an engraved case back, yeah, PD-1718. Nice simple case back. I do like the Pagani logo, I have to say. And this is obviously a chronograph with a tachymeter. And this is actually a quartz model. It's not an automatic, and believe it or not, I actually do prefer quartz. Until the technology improves on automatics, such that 70-hour power reserves and outstanding accuracy like the real Tudor model, the model that this Pagani watch is homaging is the or is paying homage to, is the Black Braid Chrono, which has 70-hour power reserve, and I believe will be accurate to around 2 seconds a day, which is still slightly less accuracy than a quartz, but is around the quartz accuracy. Until that technology is able to be replicated in super cheap watches like this, or fairly cheap watches, because this watch has absolutely classic Pagani bang for buck. It really does. I got this watch for around 90 quid. 90 GBP, which when you think about the specs, completely solid everything, 100 meter water resist with it's got a quartz in it, but given the fact it is with a sapphire crystal, sapphire dome crystal, and the tachymeter in, I believe, ceramic, this is an absolute spec monster for a fraction, a literal fraction of the price of the Tudor. And also the Tudor will not give you the sapphire, it will not give you the ceramic or even a sapphire bezel. They will only give you, I believe, an aluminium or steel one, generally. Now I know that's a bit controversial because some people prefer aluminium or stainless steel bezels. If it's painted, for me, if it's coloured, it has to be either ceramic or sapphire. I cannot accept an aluminium bezel. Unless it's like a Pepsi, and I know it's super difficult to make them. I just don't like, the bezels will scratch up. If you wear them any amount of time in any serious way, you'll scratch the bezels, which is why I much prefer ceramic, which will basically never scratch. Now, this is a fraction of the price of the Tudor. This is a few percent. The Tudor is about 4,220 quid RRP. That's if you can even get it at that. And this one with the absolutely, now the Panda, again, I've never been a fan of Panda. I've always felt if you're getting a stainless steel watch and you're getting a white dial, I always felt the watch should have a stainless steel bezel or a silver bezel to go with this. The white and the silver just beautifully go together, and they do. But I have to say, now that I've got this in my hand, this my first Panda on the channel, if you will, I can see the sportiness and the contrast. It does actually really work on this particular watch style. Now, we all know what this watch ultimately is somewhat homaging, which has made it super popular, which is the Rolex Daytona. The Rolex Daytona in Panda is like, it's an iconic, super fashionable watch that everyone's wearing, you know, sports, celebrities and all that. And you could argue that this is ultimately paying tribute to some degree to that watch because of the way it looks. And that's fine, that's totally fine. But I think initially Pagani have done, and I'll just get it on my wrist, it's reminded me just when I got this watch. Yeah, that feels really good. I was worried that it would feel too small, being 39.5, but it has a bit of thickness to it, with it being 13mm, and I'll get it all measured up in the proper review. But because obviously it's got the pushers, this chronograph does feel bigger than a typical 39.5mm. And because it is completely stainless steel and solid, it's not a light watch, although at the same time, it's not a super heavy watch. I'm guessing, just with this on my wrist, it will be about 145, 150 grams, 155 grams, something like that. Let me just see what it is. All right, so, well, Pagani are saying it's 138 grams, but I think that's wrong. I think that this feels a little bit heavier than that. But either way, it's not a super heavy watch. It feels really comfortable. There's not a significant taper on this watch compared to on the other Paganis or on the other, you know, on this style of Pagani, which is their other sports model, which, I think this is the Explorer model, sorry. They call this within their Explorer range. But yeah, we know what this watch is homaging, and this has the 20 to 16mm taper, whereas this, it will only have a very small taper, if anything. I'll definitely get that measured up in the review. But one thing about that is that it balances the watch more, so the sensation of the watch feeling too top heavy, there's less chance of that. But at the same time, I would argue that this is probably a comfier style of band, although it does depend on the watch, but you're getting less metal, and so you're getting more space for your wrist to breathe kind of thing. But at the same time, a lot of my watches now, like the Belovers and stuff, and the G-Shocks, they do not significantly taper, and I wear them all day long. So it is unusual. I mean, Pagani and obviously Rolex, that this watch is homaged from, this one, have used a 20 to 16mm taper, whereas many watch brands will not taper that significantly and will only maybe taper a couple of mil, but I'm not quite sure what this is yet. So that's not a biggie. It balances, there's benefits and downsides to each way, but it does feel initially very comfortable, and it does not feel too top heavy at all. And you get as well, not that I'll ever wear it, you get a black NATO. I hate NATO straps. I cannot stand them. I never wear them. What I would switch this out to though, definitely, or would definitely try it on, would be a black rubber band. Not the dive style. It would be the style that is similar to Rolex's Oyster Flex, with the kind of supports underneath, and a nice clasp, because they're my favourite rubber bands basically, other than the Casio stuff, but you can't put them on here, I don't think. So all in all, first impressions for 90 quid or just above 90 quid, but you can probably get a deal and get it a bit less, because that's with VAT obviously, because now you've got to pay your VAT when you're importing off AliExpress. It seems to be an absolute cracker, and the quartz inside of it, with it being the chronograph movement, and obviously it's not started ticking yet, I can activate that shortly. Ultimately, that is totally fine for me. I'm not in any shape or form an automatic fanboy. As I said, when automatic technology improves, that's when I will be interested, or becomes cheaper. That's when I will be significantly interested in automatics. But until then, I'm probably going to prefer quartzes overall personally. That I'm unusual for other watch reviewers who strongly prefer automatics, but I do overall, at the cheaper range, I do prefer the accuracy and the lack of, the service costs and all that, and the chances of it going wrong with an automatic, I think is higher in the automatics than in a quartz. But overall, the bang for buck with this watch is pretty sick if it does live up to it in my review, and I have no doubt that it probably will do. There is an affiliate link down below for both watches if you want to pick them up. I make a tiny bit of commission at no extra cost to you. Thanks for checking my channel out. I've got loads more watches coming in. It's been Dave. Have a great evening. Cheers.